Hello and welcome to a live pop culture on Deprogrammed with Carrie Smith. I'm your host, Carrie. I'm here with my usual co-host, Mystery Chris, at the usual time, Wednesday night at 8 o'clock Central. We are back for our regularly scheduled shows. I'm back from Europe. Literally just walked in the door of my house, and we're here and we're live streaming, and we're going to try and stay on topic. I am a little jet lagged backwards. I'm lag jet. So it's gonna be an interesting night. Welcome back, me.
Yeah, welcome back. We're at the regular time. It's been how many weeks?
5 weeks. We had a couple pre-recorded ones. One of those, the one with Neil James about British comedy, got banned by YouTube. So it was on Rumble only for a couple weeks. Then YouTube unbanned it, so you can now watch it here at YouTube. But it's like they already squashed the views on it because it
I
was a few
know.
weeks late. And then because we haven't been doing regularly scheduled 8 o'clock shows, I feel bad because maybe some viewers are like, "Hey, they don't do that show anymore," and I'm like, "No, we're back." So I apologize to you, Mystery Chris, for busting up the schedule, but we're getting back weekly, 8 o'clock Central, here on Deprogrammed. And yeah, Texas Sheep Lady, is this really live? Yes, I'm back. Um,
Pinch yourself.
hey, you're home. Hey, Anne, I am. What about Tiger? Therese, I cried when I left that dog. Probably, you know that. Last night. So seeing him was just amazing, and the smile on his face. We took some pictures. Just walked in, theatrical commitment. Yeah, let me tell you the half of it. We traveled for like 2 days because we had booked a round trip ticket out of Munich, Germany, and thought it would be cheaper to do that. So Paris is where our last place was, but we had to get back to Munich for our flight. So we spent just a whole day just traveling from Paris to Munich because we were staying in the ghetto outside of Paris and there were several subways that were shut down that morning, and so we had to get up way early. It was like a bus to a train to or a subway to another subway to a train to another train. It was like the longest day ever to get to Munich, and then we were stayed in this beautiful airport Airbnb, just gorgeous. I wish we had actually had time to enjoy it with a very traditional German restaurant and stuff. That it looks so cool. I definitely want to go back there. But we only slept an hour and a half because we had by the time we got there and got some food and everything, we had to be up at 3 a.m. For a 7 a.m. flight and getting the shuttle there and everything. So we slept an hour and a half and then we flew. It was a 24-hour thing in the end, basically, from the time it took to leave for the airport. Long story short, our second flight, the one from Istanbul, which was the longest flight ever, we couldn't land in Dallas because there was a storm. It was finally raining in Texas. So they circled for half an hour and then they took us, and I apologize because Mystery Chris, I just told him all this. Now I'm retelling. I'm telling you guys. He's like, "Oh, I've heard that nothing's more boring than somebody else's travel problems, right?"
Just embellish it. Make it
My
more
travel
interesting
problems.
for me.
I've got more interesting things I could tell you. But anyway, they made us land in Houston. They finally diverted us. So we landed in a different city. And I felt bad for our family that was waiting for us to pick us up. And it was like, oh man, we were supposed to land at like 6 or 7. I think we ended up we landed in Houston, waited for the storm to pass. They refueled and then we flew back to Dallas. Got in super late last night. And then this morning it just we went to unfortunately a family a funeral, had a family friend, one of Anthony's family friends had passed away. So we went to a funeral in Dallas this morning, and then we're supposed to be home on the road pretty early, but our car that we had left in Dallas wouldn't start. And that set off a whole nother chain of events. And we had to get jumped off several times on the way back. And then we got home. Now, this is the most crazy part of the story. Mr. Chris has already heard this. We come home and, we haven't been in our home for quite a while. I don't know if you guys remember, if you watch the show regularly, we used to have a raccoon. We live in an old house that we're renovating, and it has a lot of issues. And anyway, we used to have a raccoon that lived in the walls, and what we did was we boarded up these 2 holes on the balcony outside that he was using to get inside the walls. Came home, and it looked like a human had taken a crowbar to those planks, had been pried away. One of them is totally removed and is on the ground, and the hole's just open again. And we had string lights, and 2 of them were connected right there at the hole. Like a human unplugged them. The raccoon did it. And the other hole, he, like, pried the wood away. I took a photo because nobody will believe this. It's still up there, nailed up there, but it's, like, pried open. And then we get inside the house. We're like, "Well, who did this? Who pried these holes open?" We get inside the house, and the music parlor is covered in pecan shells. And yeah. So, I mean, I'm grateful that it's not just that it's just that. It's nothing worse, because it could have been, you come home from a trip, it could be any number of things. But we were like, "Wow." And then also when we got home, the car died again as soon as we got here, because he tried to start it, it's dead. Okay. So, at least we got that. Anyway, all of that happened, and then I ran in here and was like, I called Mr. Chris. I'm like, "Look, I haven't had time to research the topic at all. We had all these problems with the car, which he already knew about. And then let me tell you about the raccoon that moved back in." And the end is he just right before he was out there nailing the thing shut again. I'm like, "What if the raccoon is still in the walls? He's gonna be nailed inside."
He could get his way out.
He'll, like, chew his way out. So then I quickly Googled before we started, "How smart are raccoons?" And I saw these horrifying pictures of, like, raccoons doing all kinds of crazy damage inside the house. And so I freaked myself out about how it could have been a lot worse, or maybe not will be worse if you can't get out of that hole. "Did you get in your kitchen?" says Kevin. No, well, thankfully, we didn't have anything in our kitchen really, because we were gonna be gone for so long. We had, like, gotten rid of everything except, I mean, canned goods. Do they open canned goods? Do they use a can opener? Maybe. They use a crowbar.
I know how to open doors.
Texas sheep lay, the raccoon repossessed his home. Oh, well, my husband is pissed. I've never seen it. He was like, I'm gonna get a BB gun. Like, he's like,
Can we get him on the show first
no.
before you shoot the raccoon? I think we need to celebrate his ingenuity. He was very, very clever.
Yeah, he is. I'm gonna send you these pictures, and you're gonna freak at how crazy they are. I didn't have time to get them queued up. Maybe I'll show them in a future show. They're crazy. I had to take photos because I was like, I'm just gonna send this to. We had previously, back when we had this raccoon months and months ago, we had this exterminator guy come in and evaluate the problem, and he had told us, just get a live trap. Like, you don't want to pay me to do this, whatever, or close the holes, right? Which we did. But when I was gonna text that guy from back then and be like, have you ever heard of a raccoon doing this? Like, somehow prying these nailed boards down. And he's probably going to say yes, because now that I've looked up how smart are raccoons, I've seen other things they've done. So
Hey, did you check your closet and make sure you didn't try in any of your clothes?
we did check the closet.
Okay.
We didn't see
Did you
anything
check your
else.
Lipstick? Did you have any lipstick or anything else?
No,
You never know.
no, anyway. Like I said, I'm a little jet lagged, and that happened, and so just bear with me. Tonight's show is going to be, I'm going to discover everything along with you guys, the audience. It's going to be fun. Mr. Chris is going to lead the show because I'm impaired. I'm jet lagged impaired. I started saying we had while we were there, because my brain felt slow a lot. They say I should have been over jet lag the first week or something, right? But felt like we had long lag, like long COVID. I was like, we have long lag. And now it's just a little
Yeah, how are you gonna get to
back,
sleep tonight?
I don't know. I was just drinking coffee to stay awake, so we'll see. But yeah, I'm so excited to be back. I'm excited to talk to you at our regular time. And thank you guys. Thank you for sticking around. and hanging out with us this Wednesday night. I didn't even have time to name the show and tell you what we're talking about. We're going to be talking about the phenomenon of E-Thought girls. I'm going to learn a lot, and OnlyFans, and maybe we'll get a little bit into the future, what the future holds, or if we don't have time, we'll save that for a future episode. Hold on one second. Tiger's crying. Let me just see. You can read some chats if you want.
What if this tiger that broke in instead of the raccoon? And he's blaming it on the raccoon. That's exactly what Tiger would do. All right, let's see what's going on in chat. All right. Guardian Galaxy Raccoon. Hey!
Look, it's Tiger. He didn't forget about us. I was the whole time we were in Europe, every couple days, I'd be like, what do you think Tiger's doing right now?
Is that the longest you've been apart from him?
Yes. Yes, it was really hard. I actually did weep when he drove away with Anthony's mom. But I every time I would ask him, what do you think Tiger's doing right now? He was like, sleeping? Like, what are you imagining? He's sleeping. But yeah, I miss this little guy so much. And I was thinking, what if he doesn't remember me? Well, of course.
Tiger always remembers.
Yeah. That's nice. Did he get groomed? Says Kevin. No, actually, I've got to take him now. So I didn't want to make my mother-in-law do that. So okay. Let's get started. You want to tell people a little about this topic or what?
Sure. We are talking about E-Thots, electronic that hose over there. That's what thought stands for. And
wait, what does thought stand for? I don't even know.
That hoe over there.
I never knew that. No.
Really? What did you think?
I thought it meant I thought it was making fun of them as if they have thought, like deep thoughts. And it was misspelled on purpose.
I mean, that fits too.
Huh?
That fits too.
That hoe over there. I never knew it stood for that. Okay.
Really?
I learned something.
Wow. Yeah, we're starting off good. So yeah, that's what it stands for. And there's just been a rise in the amount of women who are making living off of selling images of their body, or actually selling their body in some cases. And we're going to talk about that.
Cool. I mean, this topic does interest me because it interests me a lot because of where it's going to lead, I think, in the future, as you know. And we'll probably save that for a second episode about like AI and how that's going to impact the whole selling of sex business in various forms. But it also interests me, I guess, in the way it exists now, just because I don't know, because it's a little bit about human nature and all that kind of stuff. As you know, I'm fascinated by all the different parts of human nature and the different things we can become obsessed with or addicted to or use as crutches. And I think for some people, it can become interactions with women they don't know. In fact, when I wrote a piece about AI porn, or it was about the AI E-Thought girls, because there's all these fake accounts now on Twitter. And they say this is fake. This profile is created by AI, and it's just girls, fake girls. They're not real people, and they pretend to be real. They post like sexy photos of themselves, and then the comments, there's like thousands of guys who presumably know they're not real, who talk to them as if they are real. But then I started thinking about, well, how different is that from when guys interact with actual OnlyFans girls? Like, how different is it really? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're paying them money to see their sexy pics and stuff, but like you maybe feel like you have an intimate, special relationship with them, like some kind of sexual thing, but it's how real is it?
Parasocial relationship. And that exists like we're on YouTube, stuff like what we're doing now, but specifically with that, it's just them selling images of themselves, either naked or partially clothed. And a lot of men who are giving giant amounts of money to these women seem to believe that they have some kind of relationship with this girl, even though she doesn't know who they are. It's very bizarre. And like you said, that's one of the things that's always fascinated me about it, particularly just how much money some of these women can make off of OnlyFans and Instagram. It's just insane.
I don't know. I think it's also it's a temptation for some people, and I'm glad that it did not exist when I was younger, because I think I could have easily, there but for the grace of God go I. I could have easily been like, hey, that's some quick, easy money, and I need money. And, I could see myself doing that when I was younger if something like that had existed.
It's not too late, Carrie. You could
No.
do an OnlyFans of hats. Like you try
I'm a
on
different
different
person now.
scandalous hats.
I'm a different person now, thankfully. Although every once in a while I thought of it. I've been like, when you're in a pinch and you're like, maybe I could do one where I don't have to do anything sexual and I just read, the thoughts of John Stuart Mill. Somebody has to get off on that.
I've thought about it. Like, what if I just sell pictures of my feet? I hate feet. I think they're gross, but hey, there's a crowd for everything. Yeah, it'd be awesome.
If you and I did one, it would be super weird and nuts. It would be like, because I'm imagining you like painting your toes to look like characters.
I'll take requests, paint colors. I mean, I'm an artist. I can like draw people's faces on my feet. That's exciting.
It wouldn't attract a lot of subscribers.
Don't say that.
Maybe one weird person who's really into that.
I hope at least a couple. I think my feet are worth that at least.
A couple. Two weird. Look, me too. I joked about, remember I was going to start a site called OnlyFans where the more money you pay me, the more clothes I put on. until you're just covered. You got like, you could see slightly through just the eye holes, like a burqa.
OnlyFans, yeah, Saudi Arabia.
Anne says people would pay you to stop. Mr. Chris, stop doing that feet thing.
No, never.
Ryan says, I mean, to be fair, it wasn't started as purely a porn site. If you want to make money doing something else on there, go for it. Really? I didn't know that.
I wonder how many people I read made it seem like it was, because the guy, and we'll get into OnlyFans, but the guy who started it also started a couple of other like porn sites. And so based on the articles I read, it sounded like ever since the beginning in 2016, it's been a porn site. And I know not everybody who posts on it obviously posts porn
towards that. Yeah.
Yes. That's what the internet was invented for. Like I have another theory, like if you turn off the safe search on a Google search, if you search long enough, eventually porn will come up no matter what you put in.
No matter what it's true. Yeah. I believe that as well. Okay. Thank you for the super chat. Troy Ray, $10. I should have mentioned at the beginning of the show, if you like Deprogrammed, if you've been watching for a while and you want to help support the show and our plans to take over the world, we don't have plans to take over the world. We have plans to do this full time eventually. That's it.
Gotta take care of that raccoon first, though.
I also have, that's the other thing. I am saving. I know people think, well, you just went on this crazy European trip. Yeah, but that's because my husband's talents help pay for that, like this cool vacation. That's awesome. But we are saving for the balcony. That's become a raccoon priority. So thank you, Troy Ray. He says a raccoon got into our garage one winter and ate all the Christmas treats we had stashed away for the kids. Sucks. Candy canes, chocolates, hot cocoa, everything. They're a menace. I wonder if you're still here. You don't have to super chat this, of course. Just let me know in the chat. Did the raccoon have to get into did it have to do anything very complicated and using high intelligence to get into the candies? Like, were they in some kind of, or were they just in cardboard boxes? I'm curious because this raccoon used a crowbar.
It's no ordinary raccoon.
But yes, if you want to support the show, we do have you can do a super chat. We have YouTube memberships. We have a locals, Patreon, and a subscribe star. So thank you very much. Also, if you don't want to or can't support the show in that way, you can always help us out by sharing the show or most especially leaving a comment. That helps the algorithm. So thank you. Combination lock, Carrie. Sheesh. What does she mean? What do you mean, Therese? I'm slow tonight.
Raccoon can't get through that.
A raccoon can't get through that. That's what we need to do. The thing is, the balcony, it is in a pretty bad way, that bad shape. You've seen it. It's gotten a little worse. So that's a big, but we've kind of got to the place in our home renovations where we're now doing things on a project by project basis as we hit a goal for that. So our next thing is the kitchen. It's not the balcony. Well, I think we might have to step up the balcony and fund that first. Anyway. Okay. Carrie's getting paired with her. Look, you would too. It's like something out of a haunted house.
You're turning into Captain Ahab. Raccoon's the whale.
Kevin says my raccoon had to figure out a complicated locking mechanism to get into my dog food. Really?
What?
I believe it.
What
I believe
is
it,
happening?
Kevin.
So Rocket Raccoon is based on a true raccoon.
Animal lover. This is Animal Mother. This is from before we started. Says, I hope they talk about spooky stuff tonight. Well, just to let you know, we are planning on, for the month of October, Mystery Chris suggested we do spooky topics. And I think that's what we're going to try and do for the whole month of October. Hopefully next week, before we hit October, we're going to have a special guest, which we'll announce later if that works out. But for the month of October, we're going to try and do spooky stuff. Okay, tonight, E-Thought girls and OnlyFans, which I just learned E-Thought, if you're just joining us, thought means that hoe over there. I never knew that. So learn something already.
The more you know.
So where should I start, sir?
Let's start with Ice Cream So Good.
Now I have seen this.
Yes.
Hold on. Tell people what this is, because this has become, this is everywhere now. Lots of people doing this.
I struggle explaining what it is, but apparently it's people on TikTok who will read out certain chats, but people are putting emojis in the chat, and so they'll basically mime what that emoji is, whatever. And this woman, Pinky Doll, basically made this thing big. I don't know who started this trend, but about, I don't know, a month or two ago, she went viral for these videos. And one, there's something weird and a little bit sexual, in my opinion, about these. I know some people disagree, but if you watch it, there's just something off about that. But even if you want to say there's nothing sexual about this particular, guess what? She has her OnlyFans. So do a number of other people who do this. Cherry Crush is another person, white one, who does this. And she also has her OnlyFans.
I've looked, and there are men doing this too now.
Yeah.
And some of them are making, I mean, because every time they're getting these like emojis, there's like money involved.
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing different, they're basically acting as if they're computer generated. You know, we say NPC, non-player character in a game.
Correct, yeah.
They're sort of acting like they're these computer generated characters, and they're just being controlled by what you, the viewer, give them money to do. And so there's some weird control thing going on here, because it's like, if you give her a rose, she'll do and say a certain thing, versus if you give her a hot dog emoji, she'll do and say a certain thing, or a hairdryer or whatever. She does something different each time. Okay, so let's watch this.
Yes, do you think, huh? Woo! Rug, money gun, I got your name. Wow, a lot of gift for you. Hee-haw, yes, you gotta feel like a cowgirl. I mean, run it, huh? Oh, thank you, baby, this is so cute. That was good. Coconut, yes. God, amazing. Meow, yes. Ice cream, so good, chula. Money gun, I got your name. Wow, a lot of gift for you. Yes. Oh, thank you, baby, this is so cute. Slay, huh? Yes. Oh, thank you, baby, this is so cool.
Now she
goes on for 6 minutes. Yes.
This goes on forever. I've seen a few of these now, and this girl, Pinky Doll, also has this thing she does, which people like. It's like her signature thing, that while she's doing this thing, and I actually want to watch another one so people can really get the full picture of how they're all doing this now. And they all have different things they'll do for, like, hot dog, yum, or whatever. But this is her signature thing. What she's doing right there is she's got a hair crimper or straightener in her hand. Did you know about this, Mr. Chris?
No.
Okay, you see that pink thing? It's an iron. It's a hair straightener. You like run it through your hair to straighten it. Okay, so it's hot, like a curling iron. She takes a kernel of popcorn. She takes a kernel of corn and puts it in there. And by the end of her stream, she pops a single kernel of corn.
What?
And people love that. That's
Yeah,
like her thing.
I never thought I'd get to an age where I didn't understand pop culture. Here I am, because you're young and like parents didn't understand certain stuff. You're like, oh, you guys are a bunch of old squares, just don't get it. I'm always gonna be cool, but now I'm like, I have no idea what any of this is. I don't know if I want to know.
Let's just a little bit more. Let's watch.
Cool. Yes, 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 yes. Gang it, gang it, gang it, gang it, gang it, gang it, gang it. Ah, yes, 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 yes. The real money gun. I got your name. Wow, a lot of gift for you. Gang it, gang it, gang it, gang it. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, strong woman. Yes, strong woman. Hold on, money gun. I got your name. Wow, a lot of gift for you. Let.
Okay, and so people just give more and more money to watch her do whatever reaction she does with that particular emoji that they're sending. It's wild, right?
People have a lot of disposable income these days, apparently.
Yeah. Okay, so look, people, have some of you not seen this yet? Because this shocked me. I had to watch a few of them to try and wrap my head around it too. People in the chat, Kilgore's like, seriously, what?
Yes.
People are nuts, says Texas Sheep Lady.
It's getting worse.
Hey, Adam. Hey, Adam Worrell. He says, God help us, idiocracy.
I
It's
know.
crazy, right?
We're a step away from Ask the movie.
Ask the movie. We are. And they see how they call this one NPC live, not like non-player character live. So that's one word I've heard for this phenomenon. Let me see if I can find one of the guys who does it. Oh my gosh. Here we go.
Oh,
okay.
Boy. This is going to be disturbing.
This is going to be disturbing. Hold on. Let me stop sharing this one.
Okay.
Because you're like, okay, well, maybe with the girls, you're like, okay, I guess it is like, they just like watching a very attractive girl do this, like an anime character or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then when you see the like random Joe Schmoes doing it, you're like, what? Why are people paying him?
It's just the weird thing. And there's like all these trends that always come about on TikTok. Like for a while was the parents, or excuse me, women who were breaking eggs on the foreheads of their toddlers. And that was a big trend. And now it's this thing. And I'm hoping it'll die out soon, but it'll just be replaced by some other stupid thing.
Okay, here we go. Here's one of the guys.
100 glizzies entering Glizzy Overdrive. Increasing grip by 7%.
What?
We are locked in. Thank you for over 160 glizzies entering Glizzy Overdrive.
Oh, come on. Come on. Come on. I mean,
what? What? They're giving him glizzies, I guess, is when they get the hot dog emoji. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what a lot of them call the glizzy. Okay. What? Wait.
I don't want to be here anymore, Carrie.
So now there's other streamers, okay, who don't do NPC, who are being told to do NPC. We want you to act like NPC on TikTok. And they're doing it and here's one. Look at this one. This guy, Kai Sinet, I guess he's some big.
Oh, Kai. Yeah. This is the guy that he had a giveaway in one of the big parks in New York City, and like thousands of people showed up and started like basically rioting, and police were called, and he got charged for, causing a riot. It was crazy.
Oh, okay. That sounds kind of familiar. Okay.
Yeah, it's about, I don't know, maybe a month and a half, maybe 2 months
I
ago.
feel like I don't know. I'm too old. I'm not going to learn who TikTok stars are. I'm just not.
Well, I barely knew who this guy was, but I was on Twitch one time and saw that he had like 100 million or 100,000, excuse me, people watching him live.
What?
And I tuned in, and a lot of it was just like him just like saying weird stuff, and he was playing games with people. It's like, okay, I could see how some young people would be into this, but like 100,000 people watching,
Weird.
it's just
Okay, so here he is. Somebody, I guess, tells him to do NPC, so he does and makes like $6,000 immediately. Here we go.
Y'all want to do NPC live? Yes or no? Wait, you make money from that, right? All money that I make from hair goes strictly to the chat. Roses. And the cowboy monkey. Whoa, okay. All right. Fried chicken. Whoa, okay. Watermelon monkey fried chicken. Come on, bro. All right, chat. Let's see how much we've made. Ain't no.
At least he's making fun of it.
good.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
At least he's making fun of the phenomenon. Like, I'll do it, but I'll make fun of it.
Oh yes.
Okay, so this is the thing.
And so, as I mentioned earlier, Pinky Doll also has an OnlyFans. And if you go to that second YouTube video where it says she's upset, she apparently got upset because she found out that people were leaking her OnlyFans stuff onto other sites. And she recorded some long video, and you might have to fast forward like a minute or so.
Well, this second art, is it the article you gave me?
Oh no,
Or the-
sorry, it's YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because that I can't open that New York Times piece, but
Yeah.
okay, so what is
But
this we're about to watch? She recorded.
Yeah, so she got upset that people were spreading her photos from OnlyFans, leaking them onto other sites and not paying for it, and which anybody who puts anything on the internet should know it's going to be leaked to other sites. I mean, you just have to know that. So if you skip forward, there's one where she has these kind of fake tears. Yeah, probably there. I think that's good. Yeah, around there. And yeah.
In the comments, and someone say there's 12 Twitter out here with my stuff on it, all my stuff on it for free. Like, do you really think that I was not gonna be a woman with one day, a wife or something? Like, if I want to erase my life, I cannot anymore because of people like you.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. She's saying it's other people's fault that the nude pictures that she took and sold online are out there in the world, and now if she wants to be a wife or something, it's other people's fault.
Yes. She not know how the internet works.
Dude, take some responsibility. I mean, I could see I'm with her a little bit on the okay, yeah, people are taking the stuff you're charging money for, but of course it's going to happen, and they're putting your nudes out there. But don't be saying, and now I'm going to be embarrassed in the future when I try to get married or or when I have a kid, I'm going to be embarrassed because my nudes are out there because of you guys. Like, no, you put your nudes out there. You're selling them. What?
So stupid. Just expect to delete her account one day, and none of those photos will be anyplace else. Just delete her existing online, which will never happen. It'll be online forever. And she has a kid, and so that kid's going to grow up with a bunch of friends that are checking out his nude mom online.
Let me just see this one time.
Stuff on it for free. Like, do you really think that I was not going to be a woman with one day, a wife or something? Like, if I want to erase my life, I cannot anymore because of people like you. You just expose everything. Like, I have a kid. One day he might gonna go on it and see his mommy doing stuff.
Then why are you doing stuff? Then why are you doing stuff? No one's making you.
So she is an NPC in real life too. So okay.
Wow. just the lack of personal responsibility for anything's crazy to me. Did you?
Yeah.
You already saw this, so you knew this was coming.
Yeah.
I was just a little shocked. Okay.
You're not supposed to see. Like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? This is insane. Why? Why are you gonna take my stuff and put it here? It's not yours. It's not your business. I can never go back because of you. This is insane. I don't understand. Okay, guys, I know yesterday I was kind of my feelings, but come on, guys, put yourself in my shoes. How would you react? Be happy and everything, or like be mad and try to figure out what is happening? Exactly. I'm doing this video for people who understand what I'm talking about. If you don't, go to my page and go to my first video to understand. And if you want to help me, come back here. So I'm asking people, if you have any links to any page possible, please send it to me on my Snapchat. I will respond to everybody today. So thank you so much for your time, love. If you're a real one, you already know what to do. So thank you, baby boo. Thank you, baby girl. Yes, yo, guy.
I am shocked. I'm shocked, though, she didn't say, please collect this evidence for me and also pay me per Snapchat message. To read the things that I've asked you to send me.
Got me $24.99 and send me
Send me $24.99.
Playing that game.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And real quick, can you go to the third with that link underneath here? I just found this out. Yeah, there we go. So if you pulled up this one, you're gonna find out a little secret about her that I was very surprised to learn, but I'm not surprised at the same time. So she, for all her videos, lightens her skin. That's her on the right.
Oh,
She
wow.
looks
Okay.
completely different. And she uses apparently a filter. And so in all her videos, she's making herself light skinned, which
With the
again
filter.
shows the insecurity that Black women have. And this is the real her.
Oh. This is an article. What kind of pop culture website is this?
I have
Sandra
no idea.
Rose. The headline is, the TikTok streamer Pinky Doll claims the sun made her skin dark. Quote, what can I do?
It's a
TikTok
lot of sun.
NPC streamer. Yeah, so that's what they're calling this phenomenon, NPC streamers. TikTok NPC streamer Pinky Doll hit back at accusations that she's a colorist who uses a light skin filter because she's ashamed of being Black. The popular TikTok influencer was dragged on Twitter on Tuesday for using a filter to lighten her dark skin. Fans were shocked to see she was dark skinned when she attended the 2023 Streamy Awards in LA on Sunday, August 27th. Now she claims she's not trying to trick her Caucasian and Asian fans into thinking she isn't Black. TMZ's cameraman spoke with Pinky Doll LAX on Tuesday. She offered the most lame excuse for her skin tone discrepancy. She told the cameraman she's proud of her melanin skin, but she claims that she gets a little darker when she's in the sun. Quote, you know, it's life. What can I do? And I love to be a Black woman. Oh, yeah. Look at her here on TMZ.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. So she does use a filter. That's clear.
She looks like a completely different person.
She looks completely different. That's what I kind of meant about the AI E-Thought girls, the AI female influencers that, you know, will post their sexy pictures if you pay them for pictures that they're not even real people. But it's kind of like with her. I mean, how real are these?
Yeah.
They're not very real at all. Like,
well, that's like a
whatever.
lot of people, women who post on Instagram. They're putting all sorts of filters over their photos, making them look like they have better skin or they're skinnier than they are. But again, this just shows you that some of us Black people value whiteness more than we value Blackness, and that can manifest as a deep hatred, an envy, that because that's where it originates from. But we value light skin. That's why you've heard stories about people who valued mixed kids over, you know, pure Black children because they have good hair. Constantly hearing that from Black people, particularly Black women.
Wow. She looks so different. This says fans accused Pinky Doll of using a filter called Light Skin Face to trick her followers into believing she's light skinned. She
Do they have an opposite? Do they have a dark skin face? Would that be
I bet they don't. But I think they would get canceled if they had that. Pinky Doll once told her fans that her name refers to her skin color, which she described as light skinned. Here she is. Pinky Doll, you guys, look, if you don't know how big this phenomenon is, this NPC TikTok streamer thing, her real name is Feta Simone. She earns over $200,000 a month.
Yes.
Doing the thing we just showed you where people give emojis and she acts them out. Her followers pay her to do various actions and say repetitive phrases like gang, 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 and thank you, baby, and ice cream so good. I could do it. Gang, gang.
But it's so infantile. That's one of the things that creeps me out about it. It's like something a baby would say.
Yeah, look at her here at the way she presents herself with that filter. And then look at her when she couldn't disguise herself because she was at a public event. So different.
It's crazy.
It's not that different. That's why I think the AI jump is going to happen pretty seamlessly to AI influencers, like sex related influencers or whatever, because it's not that all that different from does it matter if you're giving your money to Pinky Doll or to an AI generated Pinky Doll? Like and you don't have a real relation. She's just saying words that you're telling her to say, but when you give her hot dog emojis,
well, that just means that there's going to be more women who are going to prostitute themselves.
It's already
the only thing they can do to differentiate themselves from AI, which is going to pretty soon look super realistic, where you won't be able to tell the difference if it's real or not.
Yeah, it's crazy. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing this article.
Right. And speaking of prostitution, can you open that second link, the Cosmopolitan one, the secret lies of Instagram models? And so this article, now I'll tell you which paragraphs to read if you don't mind. But this one goes into the more dark side of Instagram models, because I, for the longest time, didn't really think much about all these Instagram models, because normally they post pictures of them at various exotic locations, and I never really thought about it until someone pointed out, like, how do you think they afford to go to all these places? Like, wait, are they prostituting themselves? Yeah, yep. So if you will go down to, let's see here, I marked it. Go down to the paragraph right above the photo of the woman on the front of a boat. You just scroll down a little bit. Almost there. Okay, up. So that paragraph right there. If you start there and read about 4 or 5 paragraphs.
Okay. Too many. By the way, this is a Cosmopolitan article. You can read the whole thing. It's called "The Secret Lies of Instagram It Girls." Okay. To many, Instagram is nothing more than a harmless distraction where we post images of waggy dogs, artfully arranged salads, and the odd Aperol spritz balanced precariously on the edge of a balcony. But it has also become a kind of shop window for young, beautiful women to catch the eyes of wealthy men who, in exchange for their youth and pulchritude, will reward these women with the sort of lifestyle available only to the super rich. Anthony London, his real name, he swears, is what is called a, quote, luxury concierge, essentially a fixer for the 1% wanting to have a good time. His company, Millionaire's Concierge, will cater to his wealthy clients' every wish, whether that's getting a last-minute table at London's Sexy Fish restaurant or commandeering a super yacht for an impromptu party in Monaco. Quote, say a wealthy client comes to town last minute. They'll contact me to arrange their restaurant booking or stay in a top hotel like the Dorchester or the Bulgaria in London. I'll then use my accounts to secure the booking. End quote. But Anthony also arranges more than hotels and dinners out for his clients. He can also arrange for them to party with the best looking women in town. Quote, I'll book them a table and wherever is cool and arrange for 10 girls to come along. And all they've got to do is look pretty and have a good time. End quote. While many of the girls booked by the elite concierges like Anthony come through modeling agencies, Instagram has also become a recruiting tool to spot beautiful women who are available for a fun time. Quote, if you've got your head screwed on, you can make a lot of money from social media and partying, Anthony says cryptically. Mariana's brother in Dubai has assistants who actively scour the location tags of some of the world's most in-demand venues on Instagram, then simply message the best-looking women who've tagged themselves there, inviting them to fly out to Dubai. It's a mutually beneficial arrangement. The girls get to experience luxury travel and parties with which to fill their grid, while the restaurant fast becomes known as a go-to destination. Oh, that's a restaurant who pays to fly them in. Some women will be even more proactive in their pursuit of luxury grid goals, #grid goals, by paying for oh my gosh, #grid goals. Is that like an Instagram grid? Like they have goals for their Instagram grid where you see all the pictures in the grid form?
Yeah.
That's what that means.
Oh.
I just learned something else. Okay. Luxury grid goals by paying for a cheap flight out to Ibiza or St. Tropez, say where they will rent small apartments close to the most chic hotspots, then walk around in groups until they are, quote, spotted or offered an invitation onto some of the mega yachts or private parties taking place in the multi-million-pound villas there. She, however, uses a far subtler technique, quote, I'll stay at the more chilled 5-star hotels away from the crowds. Older men stay there, so I'll go to the pool alone or have breakfast in the hotel restaurant where they're likely to start a conversation. If they like you, you stay in touch and you're set for the next year. It's a good way to make business connections to advance your career. What is her?
Stop there, and I'm gonna have you skip ahead a little bit. But go ahead, sorry.
Can I just say for a second, I saw something like this on a reality show recently. I forget. Oh gosh, it was some crazy one. Oh, it was the show that it started off as a YouTube show. It's called like My Extreme Love or something, and now it has a regular slot on some terrible network. I don't know. I watched one episode of it, and there were all these different crazy stories put in there. One of them was about a girl who's like this, like young, early 20s. She gets paid. So I don't know where the guys are finding her. Maybe it's on Instagram. Maybe it's through some concierge like the guy mentioned in this article. But basically, every weekend, she gets flown to some different expensive, exotic location by some very rich guy who books her for the weekend. She claims, at least in the show, that she does not promise sex, nor has she ever had sex with any of the guys, but that she doesn't rule it out if she were to click with someone. And they know that sex is not what they're paying for, is to have one of the most beautiful, hot it girls on their arm for the weekend when they're in Dubai or whatever these cities are. So in the episode of the show she was on, I think it was just Manhattan or somewhere she was flying to meet this rich guy. So they're interviewing him too. And it's like, what do you get out of it? Now he's older, but and what he's getting out of it is having this, I guess, really attractive looking young girl with him. But I was talking about this with my husband. It's like, but what are you really getting out of it? Like, are you that much of a loser? Like, you have enough money to fly in some random girl you don't know because she looks good and pay her to spend time with you. Like, listen to that sentence again. You have to pay someone to spend time with you? Like, you're no different than the guy who has no money and lives in his mom's basement and is an incel and hates women, because in some way you're not. You just have money to afford bringing them in. Because are you really that much of a loser that no one wants to spend the weekend with you in these fabulous cities? Like, you can't. That's it, right?
Well, it's this insecurity that still stems from when they were younger. And of course, they weren't popular with women, but then they get into some money and they think, oh, I can get a bunch of hot women. And they go overboard with it. It's never enough because they're still trying to seek validation that they never got in high school.
You're exactly right. I just find it's kind of jaw-dropping that you have seemingly everything now that you have so much money, but you don't have anything at all. You have to pay someone to hang out with you on the weekend.
But this gets worse, Carrie. Can you bring up the article again?
Okay. I'll bring it back up. Sorry. You
Uh,
just made me think of that. And that girl, also, in her case, it's also very sad if you think about it. Well, yeah, she's making money off of these loser men and getting to go to fabulous locations and stay in fancy hotels every weekend, but you're wasting your youth. You could be bonding with someone you really care about and going to cool vacations with them. But instead, you're hanging out with guys you don't like every weekend and getting paid, to have these Instagrammable moments with some dude you don't care about.
They're just living life, Carrie. It's just feminism.
And it's just
It's
such
empowering.
a waste.
So
It's a
empowering.
waste for both of you. Okay, which part am I scrolling down?
So if you scroll down to, let's see, so where you are there, let's see, where is that? Scroll down a little bit. I'm trying to see where you're at. Let's see.
Anna has positioned herself as a gatekeeper into the world of professional partying.
Let's see. I think.
Wow.
Further down. Sorry.
Further down. Okay, but let me read this real quick. Anna has positioned herself as a sort of gatekeeper into the world of professional partying and the upper class. Her company, School of Affluence, started life as an aspirational blog called Jet Set Babe in 2012, showcasing the scores of beautiful young women who inhabit what Anna calls the jet set world. She now markets herself as a lifestyle coach, those seeking to penetrate the upper echelons and imparts advice on everything from what to wear to curating a suitably enticing Instagram feed.
Penetrate is right.
Stop.
I'm just saying. If you go down to the, I think it's
real quick, look at the pull quote here. Quote, people don't understand how common transactional sex is. It's kind of the norm in that world, end quote.
Yeah. If you go to the article, or excuse me,
okay.
The paragraph starts with a source. It should be a couple paragraphs underneath that where you're right now.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
Can you read that paragraph, please?
Sure. A source who prefers to remain anonymous reports tales of degrading sexual practices demanded in exchange for money and a 5-star experience, much of which is negotiated over social media before the women have even stepped on a plane. According to the source, in Dubai, it's especially common for women to be flown out by wealthy sheiks who, in return, will ask them to participate in niche sexual practices, many of which involve look away if you're eating. Okay, also, I don't know what's coming next, but if you have little ears, send them out of the room because it's probably going to be horrible. Many of which involve being defecated on. Okay, great.
I thought that was a joke. This is real, Carrie.
I believe it. People are this foul.
Disgusting.
People are this foul. Quote, my brother has told me stories of how rich men ask their PAs to contact girls over Instagram and pay them up to 20,000 lira, I'm kidding, pounds, 20,000 pounds per night to indulge their fetishes, confirms Mariana. Look, here's why I believe this. Absolutely. This they're calling it a fetish. Because in some way it's no different than the people who don't have a lot of money but spend what little bit they have in hot dog emojis to make this attractive girl do what they want for a second, to do like the thing we just watched with Pinky Doll. Remember how I said it's about control in a way? It's like that, if you can pay $1 and get her to do like pretend to be a robot, there's this sense of control over that other person for that second. And in a way, this is just the elite, very rich person version of that, which is how much money is it going to take for me to do the most degrading thing to you, and this beautiful Instagram model, to be okay with it.
Yeah.
It's control, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a power thing. I mean, these people are already rich. I mean, and they're addicted to having that power, and so it's going to manifest itself in ways like this. It's just totally disgusting. And in fact, so many women will subject themselves to this. It's sad. I mean,
it is so sad.
No dignity. They have no dignity. How do you come back from stuff like this?
No class. It's so disgusting. It's just, look, if you happen to be a young woman who's found yourself in this world and you stumble across this video on YouTube and you're listening to this for whatever reason, like, you are worth so much more than this. There's no amount of money. There's not a price tag you can put on your dignity. You are a soul. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why are you why do you have so little respect for yourself and
Mhm.
command so little respect from other people? And the only reason they're willing to pay you to poop on you, which is just, it's so gross. I can't even imagine that sentence. The only reason is because of your youth and beauty, which is going to fade anyway. That happens for everyone. And eventually you're going to look back and be like, I can't believe the degrading things I did when I was younger, back when I didn't love myself.
Well, I
Hopefully
mean,
you'll reach there. Maybe you'll never love yourself.
oh, they're insecure. I mean, they're dealing with not feeling that they have value beyond what they can offer with their bodies. Just like a lot of black women who are super hypersexual, like they are defined themselves about by their sexual, parts. That's what they are to the world, and
Yeah.
it's absolutely sad.
It's just, yeah, I don't know, just filthy. Did you want me to keep reading more of this?
If you go to, there's 3 paragraphs at the end of the article. It's just a couple paragraphs down. There we go. One woman. You passed the. Yeah. So, yeah,
Okay.
that paragraph right there, please.
One woman who has lived and breathed in the competitive paid to party scene herself is Valentina, a 25-year-old model, and friend of Mariana's. 2 years ago, on a night out in Cannes, a man approached her and explained his boss was interested in spending time with her. Quote, he wanted us to party with him, offering my friends and I 4,800 euro each to spend the night and morning on his yacht. When she arrived, the party, featuring more women than men, was in full swing. Quote, we stayed on deck until sunrise. Sometimes people from other yachts would join and vice versa. Drugs and alcohol flowed, and all the girls on board had sex, some with more than one man. I had sex with 2 guys, a director's assistant, and a publicist. The former gave me his number and eventually did offer me a few gigs in Budapest. End quote. Most of the girls were sleeping with men at least 10 years their senior. Quote, some were so scarily drunk they passed out or did things they wouldn't consent to in their normal lives, like threesomes or anal. They would get extra gifts for doing this stuff, from cash to job offers. End quote. In Anna's experience, even the women who partake willingly in these sexual exchanges also appear to lose. Quote, once you start climbing this ladder, you're never really satisfied. It's an addiction, a video game you can never really win, she explains, and divulges how she began to feel brainwashed by Instagram and the hollow haute couture world she was inhabiting. Quote, you begin wanting to be a millionaire, then a multimillionaire, until only a billionaire will do. I reached the point where if a man didn't have an Amex black card, I wouldn't date him. End quote. Oh my
So hypergamy.
God. What did you say?
Hypergamy.
Hypergamy. What does that mean?
Oh, it's tendency for a lot of women, not all women, but a lot of women who want to marry up. So they're looking for the man who has higher status than the man they're currently with. Just like certain men will look for women that are younger and more attractive than the women they're currently with, and they're constantly trading in.
I had never heard this word before. Hypergamy. I just looked it up. The action of marrying or forming a sexual relationship with a person of a superior sociological or educational background. That's exactly what you said. Wow. Thank you. There's no end to the things you're teaching me tonight.
I know. It's very educational. Yes.
I just want to read this because I just saw the first sentence and I want to know. When I asked her what her tipping point was, she tells me about a terrifying experience where her drink was spiked. Anna awoke in a mansion alone. When she tentatively headed downstairs to seek help, a burly man became aggressive with her, even grabbing her by the throat at one point. Quote, it was the wake-up call that I needed to operate in a smarter way if I wanted to survive in the jet-set world. I took time away, I had therapy, and re-entered seeing things more clearly. Mariana shares a similar sentiment. Quote, I was offered money to go to the same yacht party as Valentina, but I declined. The guys passed around the girls like merchandise, she says. But you would look at the pictures that were posted and you would wish that you were there. If you want in on this lifestyle, find a way to benefit from it in the long run, she continues.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Use the connections to get a better job or start a business. Otherwise, you'll just be another forgotten party girl. Yeah. Maybe just don't use this advice.
World. And isn't this the issue with Andrew Tate? Like, isn't the allegations being made towards him? Weren't the girls, I think, are multiple, weren't they invited to his place for this type of stuff?
Tate, is that who you said?
Andrew Tate.
Yes. Well, yes, but he went online and talked about, he sold courses to men on how he would invite women to things like this, and then how he would get them on the payroll and doing online porn for him, like being OnlyFans girls who worked for him, where he controlled their accounts and their money they were making. Like, OnlyFans is sort of like, you don't need a pimp because you're on OnlyFans, you can do it yourself.
Yeah.
But somehow he convinced these girls, like, let me set up your OnlyFans account for you and run everything. Why do you need that middleman?
Maybe at the end of it, when we get to some funny stuff, I didn't include it in the links, but there's a video that Ryan Long did where he played an OnlyFans pimp, and maybe watch a little bit of that.
Okay. I can't wait. I haven't seen it. I just started this earlier because I thought it was funny. Texas Sheep Lady says we just lost empathy to sanity.
I'm gone.
Oh, and Troy Ray answered my question. Thank you, Troy, if you're still here. He says he's talking about the raccoons. He answered my question. He said the stuff he hid from the raccoons, it was hidden in plastic bins, which I had believed would mask the scent of the candy. Now you're really freaking me out about the raccoons getting in my house. Like, we have got to get rid of this sucker. I'm gonna put a camera, by the way, right on that spot so we can get footage of him, and because I want to know, and in the music parlor.
He's probably gonna bring a bright light and just shine it in front of the camera so you can't see what he's doing.
Kendra Sauer says being normal looks really good right now, doesn't it, Kendra? Doesn't it? All that stuff, all the stuff, I truly believe all the stuff the world has to offer. If you're not a Christian, maybe you haven't heard the way I'm using this phrase, but Christians tend to use this phrase in the way it's used in the Bible a lot, about like, you are in the world but not of the world. I have set you apart. Like, this is what God is saying to believers. You are commanded to be in the world but not of the world. And it's like the world has all the stuff the world has to offer, the things of the flesh, the things of Adam. It just pales. It's nothing. It's all trinkets. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's nothing. It's absolutely nothing to what God offers. That's my true belief. With God offers truth, beauty, value, meaning, purpose. And you look at some of the people who've achieved all that the world has to offer, and you can tell it doesn't, they still have huge holes in themselves. Look at Kanye West. I've mentioned him before. Eventually turning to God because everything else he found it lacking. And put his mental health problems aside for a second. I'm talking about that need, that want for something more meaningful. He had all the money and power and influence and everything, and it came up wanting, right? Madonna, who didn't turn to God, but that hole is super apparent in her right now. She is a gaping hole of want. Like a dark hole of want. Thirsty as hell. You know, will never be satiated because she's trying to fill herself up with all the wrong things.
Yeah, it's just an addiction to materialism.
It doesn't work.
No, but it's just empty. There's nothing transcendent about it at all. And I think a lot of people have that desire to transcend with something that's greater than, the material realm. But
yeah, it
manifests in some very dark ways, unfortunately.
Yes. Okay. I'm sorry. So the chat, I'm not going to read it. Okay. What do you want to do?
Let's talk about OnlyFans. So I don't know if you need to pull up this first link, only if you want to. This one was just the history of OnlyFans, and I just wrote out some of the key points they made in there.
Do you want to read it? I'll pull it up, but do you want to read out some of the most interesting facts that you found?
Yeah. So OnlyFans website started in 2016, as I mentioned earlier. The guy who started it also created some other porn type sites. And it now, based on this article, this is in 2021, so it's a couple years old, but at the time, it had 175 million monthly visitors,
wow.
5.5 million daily unique visitors, 1.5 million content creators. And for financials, they take out 20% of the creators' revenue, which is less than YouTube. Maybe we should get on OnlyFans.
Maybe.
Pop culture on OnlyFans.
Wait a minute. So they take 20%. What did the OnlyFans pimps like Andrew Tate take?
Oh yeah.
he famously bragged that he would tell the girls, some girls, that they were making 50% and they weren't even making 50%. He was taking out more.
Geez.
Or he was saying in one of his videos, he was telling guys ways to get around that. He would say, tell them you have to take out 30% more for taxes or this much for that. Like, he was such a creep. Also, one other thought, Mystery Chris, and she pointed out that YouTube takes a bigger cut than OnlyFans.
Yeah, I think it's
maybe
30%, right? Or
maybe we need a YouTube pimp in addition.
Let's take some applications for YouTube pimp. What is your history of pimping, sir?
I think I did. I used to have a YouTube pimp.
What?
Let's think about it. I'm just kidding. He was my old partner. Let me handle all the money. We're 50-50. Sorry, dark humor. Okay, go
ahead. But they say they pay out $5 billion to creators every year. It's quite a lot. So they're making billions of dollars. Yeah, $5 billion to creators. And
with a B. $5 billion with a B.
Yep.
Wow.
And I didn't write the statistics down, but I think later in the article it talks about how there was a huge jump in OnlyFans content creation during the pandemic, and as well as people subscribing. I think I read something like there was like over a 500% increase in the amount of subscribers that came on, and a ton of new people creating accounts to post images or whatever they're doing on there. And so
that makes people being at home.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's tempting when people are in need, right?
Yeah. And so a lot of people, I assume, are still looking for this as another way to supplement income. And I have another article that has some financial data about specific OnlyFans creators, because apparently most people don't make a lot of money on OnlyFans, which isn't that surprising. I mean, it's like any other platform, really. The 1%, 0.01% makes a ton of money. You know, Bernie Sanders is right about OnlyFans, right. I guess. I don't know, but yeah. But I was reading that apparently the average amount of money, the average monthly revenue of any given person on OnlyFans is $220. And the average person has 21 subscribers. But and like you'll see in this article you're pulling up, you'll see that the top people are making thousands, in some case hundreds of thousands, even sometimes millions a month, like some of the other people named in here.
New York Post headline. Wait, can you see this? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
OnlyFans stars make 270 times more than the average worker. Report. This is from 2021. The world's oldest industry is also one of today's better paid ones. Top creators on subscription service OnlyFans rake in hundreds of times more money than the average Brit who's followed a more traditional career path, a new report has found. Mr. Q, a UK-based gaming software website, crunched the numbers on the best paid OnlyFans users and compared their income to existing data regarding what more customary professionals also make. Wait a minute. So he crunched the numbers on the best paid, well, like the top 1%. It's not the average person.
Right.
Those who make a name for themselves in the adult content platform, researchers found, bring in a far better income than those who stick to well-traveled job paths like doctors, lawyers, and teachers. Yeah, but you're looking at the top 1% of OnlyFans creators. The most popular OnlyFans user, Gem101, makes over $29.4 million a year. What?
So that's, like I said, people have a lot of disposable income. It's crazy.
Wait, but they're just paying for nudie pics and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, what? Okay. While the 10th most popular rakes in $4.3 million annually. Also crazy. To calculate these findings, researchers looked at creator subscription costs and subscriber numbers to calculate estimated monthly and annual incomes. The 20% cut that OnlyFans takes from its users was also factored into it says after the 20%. So this lady here, Gem 101, she's the one that makes almost $30 million a year on OnlyFans. She is the most popular, at least in 2021, the most popular, highest paid user on
girls
OnlyFans.
than her.
Yeah, but how's she doing her marketing? I don't know. It's just so interesting. Okay. Among the most popular accounts with listed subscribers, Gem 101 ranks the highest earner with estimated $29.4 million in annual income, earning an eye-watering $2.49 million each month. This comes from her $29 subscription charge per month and 102,800 subscribers. By comparison, after 20 years in the field, English doctors, the top paid industry, will only bring in an average income of $109,000. This would be more interesting, though, if you took her and compared her to traditional adult film stars. I'd be curious to see how much more she makes than, people who went the old school route rather than just run their own OnlyFans.
All right.
Okay. Well, then also it says they're comparing her to the doctor. It says after 20 plus years of work in the industry. Well, okay. Well, it says at doctors. Okay, doctors, average income of $109,000 a year. Well, why are you doing average income of doctors? Take the highest paid doctor, because you just took the highest paid OnlyFans. Take the highest paid doctor. You can't take the highest paid and then compare it to an average over here. Who wrote this article?
Someone on OnlyFans.
That's annoying. Someone on OnlyFans. Yeah. It says, while boning up on hard subjects at university might earn a decent amount, of doctors at the pinnacle of their career will earn an average of a little over $109,000 annually. Top models like Gem 101 earn more than 20 times as much. Again, this is flawed. You're not giving us the highest paid surgeon in the world and saying, here's how it stacks up. You're taking an average and saying, oh, guess what? Doctors on average earn less than the highest paid OnlyFans model ever. Well, yeah, of course. And the average OnlyFans person earns a lot less than the average doctor.
Yep.
Like this article's really flawed.
It's almost like they're trying to encourage people to.
Yes, it is. It is. People who don't understand math and averages, and they're like, maybe I should become an OnlyFans model.
Sponsored by OnlyFans.
Sponsored by the New York Post. Yeah.
OnlyFans and Pfizer. I wonder if there are any profiles on OnlyFans where they the OnlyFans creators have a box check that shows that they've been vaccinated. There's some guys I only want to see pictures of girls who've been vaccinated.
I only want to jerk off if you got the shot.
Just find that so hot. Yeah, you get your latest booster. Yeah.
You know what? I think you're in the dating world. You tell me, have you come across any pure blood dating sites yet for you where unvaxxed people only date unvaxxed people?
I don't know if anyone that are specifically like that, because I do know there are some that have boxes where you can check off, that you've been vaccinated. There was one I was thinking about signing up for where they didn't give you a choice. They say they asked you what your vaccination status is regarding the COVID vaccine. Okay. And all the choices just yes, I'm vaccinated. I'm not vaccinated yet. and that's the only two choices you have. You can't put no, I have no plans. I'll just say no. It's none of your damn business. It's just no, I haven't been yet. It's so creepy.
I think somebody could make a lot of money if they create Pure Bloods for Pure Bloods site or something. You don't have to call it that, but because I know I was just talking with someone, a new friend I met on this trip to Europe, and she was making me think about this because it was sort of she was saying sometimes maybe you wouldn't want to because you don't trust the vaccine. and we don't know. There's been no longitudinal study. We don't know what's going to happen to people who took it. And she's like, maybe I don't want to date someone who took that shot, but also, it tells me something maybe about their strength of character and stuff. I'm sure there's people watching who've been vaccinated. I'm just saying this is person's perspective. So I was thinking about it and I was like, I bet there's other people who only want to date the unvaxxed, right? You could make, it's just an idea. If you want to do a dating site, there, I'm giving it to you.
I'm sure there's a market for that.
Unvaxxed for unvaxxed. Okay.
But so I have a couple articles. One is about a teacher who was recently fired because she had an OnlyFans account. And you could just skim through this one because the article we'll talk about next, I think, is even more interesting. But this is one of the consequences that a lot of us are trying to warn young women who are going onto these sites, saying that this stuff follows you around. Like there was a documentary came out a while ago that followed porn stars after they left the business, and so many of them were talking about how hard it was to make a living because a lot of them would become teachers or they become a nurse or something, and then they get found out, their past gets brought out, and they end up getting fired. And I think that's what's happening here. I'm wondering, like, if this is going to continue to happen, or if in the future people will be so normalized by the number of women doing this, like people will care less. But I would think with something like this, given that it involves children, I would think that there would be much more of a effort to enforce a no OnlyFans teacher rules for schools.
Yeah. Okay, before I read this, just 2 follow-up thoughts to what we were just talking about. Kevin Anderson says dating the unvaxxed is not just a pure blood thing, but also a worldview indicator. You said that much better than I, with my jet-lagged brain fog, could say. You said that much better. That it could possibly indicate worldview. And some people might want to filter that out. And Tree Surgeon says, yes, the level of crap and turmoil to keep that crap out of my body certainly did take strength of character.
Yeah, okay. It could indicate, especially if you're planning to have children with somebody, like even if that person got vaccinated, what is exactly their stance on forcing the children to take COVID vaccine, and
how easily are they maybe pushed to do things? Okay. Teaching assistant fired after OnlyFans account to cover terribly low salary was discovered by school. Quote, I'm not hurting anybody, end quote. This is from the New York Post. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Hold on one second. Did it stop?
Yeah, it's not showing right now. But yeah, it's like, I was reading this article and they're talking about, how low they're getting paid. And we're like, oh, maybe you are, maybe you aren't getting, what you deserve as a teacher, but why not find another job instead of supplementing it with OnlyFans? Because you have to know there's only a matter of time before that gets found out, before that becomes a distraction for the kids. Kids are going to find that out. It's only a matter of time. And that's just.
Right. And also, it's weird to me. I was just about to say before whatever that button was I pushed and we lost the article. I was just about to say, it's weird to me they put that in the headline. Like they offer an excuse for her being on OnlyFans in the headline.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's kind of weird.
Yeah, that was weird. New York Post too.
To cover terribly low salary.
So it's the school's fault for driving this poor woman into showing her boobies online.
Okay. A teacher struggling to make ends meet is fighting to win her job back after she was fired for making OnlyFans content, according to the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. Kristen McDonald, 35, was let go after 8 years as a teaching assistant in Canada when she received a letter from board officials issuing her termination. Quote, your misconduct in this matter is egregious. The termination letter obtained by the outlet read, including multiple reasons as to why McDonald would be fired. McDonald's, who said she earned 1,000 Canadian dollars every 2 weeks, turned to OnlyFans to help support her family and young daughter. Quote, it's so far-fetched to me. It seems very petty, the ex-teacher let out in frustration. Wait a minute. It far-fetched and petty? Petty? What, they don't want... This goes again to judgment. Okay, we were just talking about judgment in the vaccine. It is not petty or far-fetched to say that a school might question the judgment of someone who thinks it's okay to do soft porn or whatever online and sell sex publicly. I know you got to pay to get it, but you have a public profile where people can find you. You're out there publicly selling sex and then also teaching kids. It's not petty to say, hey, we don't really want someone with that judgment at our school. We don't really want someone with that judgment teaching kids at our school. Like, that's not petty.
No, it's not. It's self-centered. That's what it is.
It's self-centered, yes. Quote, I feel strongly that in this day and age, we should be able to do what we want. We should be able to do what we want as long as it's not illegal, she added. I'm not hurting anybody. Yeah, and you know what? The school should be allowed to do what they want, which is to say, we don't want to hire you as a teacher because of the other choices you've made. Like,
Yep.
You can do what you want, and they can do what they want. That's how this works. They get to choose if they want to be in a professional relationship with you in which they pay you money for a service. And they just said, hey, guess what? We don't want to pay you money for a service anymore. They can do what they want.
Shouldn't really be surprising that she's on OnlyFans, because if your teacher came in looking like that with the fake,
Right.
Lips and plastic surgery, I mean, it's not
Right.
hard to guess.
Look, the kids can find this, and it is inappropriate. It is. It's inappropriate. Okay, the model posted exclusive content on her OnlyFans account and a heap of racy bikini photos on her Instagram under the pseudonym Miss Ava James. Also, just for anyone in the comments who wants to, I don't know if anyone, but be more forgiving, whatever. This isn't in her past. It's not like she did this in the past, regretted it, is a change, whatever. It's a changed person, decided to go into teaching, and that's the old her. This isn't even in her past. This is concurrently. While she's teaching, she's doing this other thing on the side where her current students might run across her naked pictures on the internet. Okay. The model posted exclusive content on OnlyFans account, under Miss Ava Jones. McDonald, who worked with special needs students, received an initial letter from the school district on April 28th when she was informed she needed to remove all accounts that she promoted explicit content on or choose to be let go. Wow, they even did you the courtesy of giving you a choice. They didn't have to do that. They gave you a choice. Quote, you're directed to immediately cease all activity and to remove all online social media accounts, including but not limited to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and OnlyFans. Read the warning. Also, she uses her child in her screen name, Miss Ava James, Dommy Mommy. She calls herself Mommy.
So creepy.
Because she's a mom who's also a dom. Disgusting. Dommy Mommy is looking for her special obedient cub.
What has she done to herself? My goodness.
Failure to do so may result in disciplinary action up to and including termination. That's from the warning letter they gave her. McDonald claimed the school used taxpayer money to peek into her OnlyFans content to investigate and ultimately make the decision to fire her. Well, they're using taxpayer money for everything they do, including making sure their teachers aren't doing porn online. Like,
schools have to have like an anti-OnlyFans task force.
Yeah.
Investigate teachers for their OnlyFans account.
The 35-year-old is not backing down and has since been in contact with a union to help get her job back. The Union for Old Dirty Hoes.
Look, school's boring enough. Kids need something to look at.
The Union for Old Dirty Hoes who still want to teach a kid. The union does not believe that Kristen's off-duty conduct violated any company. Again, her off-duty conduct, you're talking like this is something private in the bedroom that she did with her husband or whatever. No, this is a public sex. This is sex work. This is public sex work. It's not off. It doesn't matter that it's off. They're saying it in this way, like off-duty, meaning it's meant to conjure the idea that it's like, what I do in the privacy of my home should be in the privacy. Right. Okay. But this is not the privacy of your home. This is a public sex job while you're also a teacher. Of course they care.
There's no boundaries. This was so disturbing.
Here's another one. A former Indiana teacher was also fired after a colleague reported her skimpy bikini photos on OnlyFans to the school board. Sarah Jury, 41, was let go from her teaching job after it was revealed she was sharing sultry selfies on OnlyFans outside of school hours. Okay.
Well,
there's going to be a lot more of
these. If you go down to the link underneath that other New York Post article, and this is interesting. I want to get your thoughts on this one. This one is a little bit of a twist on the teacher being fired. So in this case, it wasn't a teacher who was fired. It was a little boy was expelled from a school because his mother was doing OnlyFans.
Oh, no.
Yep. And this was a private school, religious school. And so, yeah. Mom
bullied for having an OnlyFans account. There's a video here. I'm going to close that. Can you see this? Yeah. It's another New York Post article. California OnlyFans mom Crystal Jackson says her kids were expelled from school. A California woman who peddles sexy snaps and videos online said her 3 young kids have been kicked out of a Catholic school because of her activity. Okay, again, and now that I find it's a private Catholic school. Duh. Okay, this is a private school, especially a religious one. It makes sense. They should. A Catholic school, any private religious school should have a shepherd helming that school who is evaluating not just the kid, but the family of every kid that's in their school, because how they're raised at home relates to how they're going to be behaving in the classroom and what their beliefs are and everything. It's all connected. In fact, the pastor of my church, there's a school, a private Christian school that he works with in Georgetown, Texas. And they were considering, this has been a while since I talked to him about this. I can't remember when this was. Anyway, it's been a while. I don't know if they ended up doing this or not, but they were considering having one of the requirements be that your kids are not allowed to have cell phones up until a certain age, like middle school or something. I forget what it was, because if they come to the decision at their school that it's better for kids not to have these devices distracting them in the classroom, but then the kid is addicted to this outside the classroom and also learning things and picking up things from culture that maybe, they don't want the other kids in that Christian school to be around, that's totally their prerogative. Whether you agree with that rule or not, that's their prerogative as a private religious school to say, we're going to evaluate the family as a whole. We're going to evaluate what you teach at home. And if this mom is in the sex worker industry and selling her naked pictures online and videos, and her kids go to a private Catholic school, they have every right to say, you know what? You're allowed to do whatever you want in your home with your kids. We're judging it and we think it's bad for your kids, but we have every right to say your kids are no longer welcome in our school and to influence the other children who are here. Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a contradiction of the school's values. I mean, if you're teaching them Christian values and their mom is engaging in sex work, well, that goes against the teaching of what's in the Bible. And so it makes sense that they would take this position.
Yes. Teresa says, although Catholic schools don't have a high horse to be on, just saying, yes, we all know that. We do know the history. Absolutely. The history of the Catholic Church and Catholic schools. I'm just saying, in principle, religious private school has every right to do this. So it's weird to me she's like haughty and indignant enough about it to go to the press, to go to the media. Crystal Jackson, known as Tiffany Poindexter or Mrs. Poindexter on the OnlyFans app, claims to rake in more than $150,000 a month selling access to naughty photos and videos taken by her husband, Chris.
You would have thought she was a single mom, but no.
But her seductive venture has landed her in hot water at her kid's Sacred Heart Parish School in Sacramento, which has expelled them, CBS Sacramento reported. The principal said the family is no longer welcome at the elementary school. Yeah. And even barred them from picking up the children's belongings, according to the news outlet. Jackson said a group of moms discovered her site last summer and started a campaign to get her kids kicked out of the school. Yeah. Look at her dressed like a Catholic school girl.
Britney Spears there.
At one point, the group sent anonymous envelopes, including her explicit material, to the diocese and principal, the CBS station reported.
Yeah, I want to know who found that out. Like, was her dad who was looking at this and his wife caught him looking at it and then they had to turn it in? Because, like, I don't know. How many dudes would be, like, surfing OnlyFans and then turn it in? Because then they have to admit they're on OnlyFans. It's like, well,
maybe her kids found out about it somehow. I mean, she's filming this stuff at home, presumably. This is what their parents do for a living. Their dad records their mom doing sex and then puts it on the internet for money from other men. So maybe the kids told their peers who told their moms. Who knows, you know? I have no idea. But yeah, or maybe a husband found it or something. Quote, they wanted my kids removed who are innocent to this whole thing, Jackson said. Now it's kind of like we got caught. Here's our secret life exposed. So what are you going to do? Go to the national media? We don't like our secret life being exposed. Hello, CBS Sacramento? Yes. Hello, New York Post?
Sometimes I wonder if, like, some of these people want to get fired or want to be impacted so they can, like, go to the media, like you just said, and get more people to join their OnlyFans.
Yes. And you know this woman's OnlyFans grew from this. Did she really cared about her kids? They just got expelled because of your porn life. And if you really cared about your kids, you wouldn't be going to the national media about it. But what do you care about? Getting more fans on your porn life. Like, and you know this worked. Like, I don't even have to go to her OnlyFans and look it up. You know she gained a ton of subscribers because of this. She used her kids being expelled to get more subscribers for her OnlyFans.
Yeah. And how does the wife talk a husband into doing this?
I don't know. How do the whole relationship's messed up? Quote, your apparent quest for high profile controversy in support of your adult website is in direct conflict with what we hope to impart to our students, end quote, according to the message cited by the outlet. We therefore require that you find another school for your children and have no further association with ours, added the email. The school would not content, but she did, and she sent lots of sexy pictures with her link. She said she would continue to post to her OnlyFans page, and the couple is applying to send their kids to another Catholic school. Why do kids have to go to a Catholic school? Why? Yeah, I'm sure you have really strong Catholic values, right? Like, what?
They got kicked out of this school too. Got to keep this grift going.
She said that her seductive venture. Oh, here's the answer to your question, Mr. Chris. She said this all began with a post on Reddit as a way to spice up her romance with her husband. Someone said, why don't you start an OnlyFans? And we were like, what the heck is that? And here we are.
Post on Reddit? Wait, what? What does that mean? So somebody so they're like voyeurs or something?
No, it sounds like she went to some forum on Reddit and was like, how do I spice up my sex life with my husband? That's what she's saying. And somebody told her,
Who would take that advice? That's awful advice.
Mommy Dommy. That was the other one, right? I'm getting the moms who have OnlyFans accounts confused. There's a lot of them now.
So I guess is the thought that the dad's gonna be turned on by the fact that there's a bunch of strange men looking at pictures of his wife and doing things to themselves?
I guess so. I mean, that is a thing.
What isn't a thing these days?
I just want to say here, I have some friends in real life who do this kind of work, or who do sex work, who do OnlyFans and other things. Yeah. And it's weird. I don't ever like in personal conversation, like if they saw this video, they'd probably be like, wow, I didn't realize Carrie had these opinions about OnlyFans work, because I don't share it with them or shame them or try to tell them what you do is wrong or whatever, because I don't think that's my place to do that unless they ask me my opinions on it. And also, I do a lot of things that are wrong, and everybody does. And I kind of feel like people come to those decisions on their own. Like God will lead them to a place of that understanding or not. And so, anyway, I just felt like I needed to say that because uh, it doesn't play into how I treat a friend or what I think
Right.
about them or like think of them as like less than a person or anything like that. I do feel, here's the unvarnished thing, because these are other women up here and it's not, a friend of mine. My unvarnished opinion is like, yeah, I don't think it's very healthy for your home, for the home you're creating. I don't think
Exactly.
it's very healthy for you. And I don't think it's very healthy for your kids, even if they presumably don't know yet about what you do for a living. And uh, and I think that at some point, hopefully, you'll come to that same conclusion on your own. But maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, a lot of people argue from exceptions. Like, they'll talk about how somebody, say a woman who's had like dozens upon dozens of sexual partners and say, well, she got married and it's fine. It's like, okay, yeah, that's going to be true in some cases. But in a lot of cases, a woman who's had tons of sexual partners loses the ability to pair bond, and that negatively affects the marriage and usually results in divorce. In the same way as there's a lot of people who will smoke a pack of cigarettes for decades of their lives, and some of them never develop cancer or anything. But that's not a good thing to do. I mean, yeah, there's exceptions, but there are a lot of people who do develop, complications like lung cancer. So we trying to put forward pressure through society to warn people like, hey, this is usually not good. In most cases, it's not good. You might be the
Yes.
exception, but that doesn't mean you should go ahead full force and just ignore any possible consequences.
By the way, cigarettes, one of my thorns
Yeah, yeah.
that I have struggled with many times and hopefully won't struggle with again. I'll
Yeah.
have to tell you about that. Uh, but yeah, that's a great example. That's a great analogy where it's like, in general, on average, this may have negative consequences for you if you do this. Like, doesn't mean it's necessarily going to. It's just, I don't know. I don't think these moms, especially the teacher, I don't think the teacher has any leg to stand on when it comes to like, I can't believe I'm being treated this way. You teach children. It's entirely within the school's right.
Mhm.
It makes sense for a school to say, hey, we don't want our teachers doing public sex work,
Mhm.
Like, sorry, we don't want to be associated with that. We're a school and we don't want our kids who come to us and whose parents entrust us with their children and their children's learning. We don't want them to stumble upon this thing that their teacher does online.
Hmm.
So,
Next, how about we
yes,
talk? What?
just quickly about what I was talking about before. A tree surgeon says, hate the sun, not the center, I guess. That's exactly what it is. I used to think that expression was cheesy. And back before I was a Christian, I didn't really get it. I kind of was like, well, it's just the thing people say, and like a lot of so-called trite expressions, I've come to understand it. Like, it's really actually very deep. It does. I completely get that now. Whatever. You can separate the person from the thing that they do that you maybe find to be in poor judgment or bad or what have you. Okay.
Let's talk about Amaranth. You familiar with Amaranth? You go down to that. He's the top Twitch
No.
model. Yeah. So
What?
she is somebody. She actually lives in Texas. So she has made millions of dollars off of showing pictures of herself and doing Twitch streams in which she'll do things like she'll play in a little plastic bathtub or a little pool in a bikini, or she'll do one thing where guys will like pay her money to write their name on her arm, and
What?
she'll just do, and she'll do something else we'll talk about in a moment. But but yeah, if you can read a little bit of this.
By the way, congrats to Therese, who's quit smoking 19 years
Ah.
ago this month. Congrats. Okay. Who is Amaranth? Amaranth became the top female streamer on Twitch for the first time. Users watched her content for almost 1.8 million hours during the month of March 2021. She dethroned popular gaming streamer Pokemani. She remained the most watched female streamer for the entire year with over 38 million total watch hours. She's so widely popular. She recently became the only woman among the male-dominated list of the platform's top 100 most viewed creators. She purchased a gas station among other business ventures. What? A gas station. She's been pretty vocal about her business ventures, often startling fans with her investments. In November 2021, she announced that she had bought a gas station and would lease it out to Circle K. She talked about the decision in a thread on Twitter, explaining that purchasing the gas station meant she would save money overall by having to pay fewer taxes. She bought another gas station owned by 7-Eleven. Wait, which part am I supposed to get to?
I think that's about it. I mean, it just kind of.
She's made all this money off of doing weird things, and then she buys gas stations.
Yeah, it's so weird. She does one thing where she'll leave the webcam on as she sleeps, and she said that she gets higher views while she's sleeping than she does when she's awake.
What?
Yeah, she has millions of subscribers on Twitch, and it's thousands of people, like 10,000 people watching at any given time, paying money. And it's just like we were talking earlier, just all these men that have this parasocial relationship with her that I guess they think that, they have some deeper bond with her, or that by giving her money, she's going to recognize their value. I'm not sure exactly what they're expecting to have, but clearly there's something there. I mean, she's a millionaire.
Okay. I just have to understand a little more about what she is and does. Internet celebrity, streamer, and adult content creator. She's known for her ASMR Twitch live streams. She was initially a cosplayer, appeared at character parties for children and hospital visits. In 2016, she was asked by Twitch to join as a content creator and live stream making costumes. She accepted. By 2021, became the most popular female streamer on Twitch, known for her dancing, ASMR, and hot tub streaming content. Okay. She was reported to have earned $33 million through OnlyFans. She also does cosplays, not safe for work content, so adult content, and pairs and streams with other streamers. I do think it's very interesting that she's buying gas stations.
Yeah, I know. As of all things.
She sounds like she's got a smart business lady head on her shoulders, but yeah, okay. So I didn't know who this person was, but apparently very popular. Twitch. Did they do adult content on Twitch? I didn't know that.
I mean, they can't show nudity.
They can?
They can't show nudity.
Oh, okay.
But if you bring up this Twitch link right here, I have a link to Twitch, and there's a specific section that's for thoughts posing in pools and hot tubs.
What?
Yep. And this is something Twitch got some flack for, because you got to remember, Twitch started off as a gaming website, but the hot tub streamers got so popular that a lot of people were criticizing them, and so they try to de-emphasize it a bit, but it's still making them a ton of money, so of course they're going to keep it.
Pools, hot tubs, and beaches category.
I like that there's an otter amongst all these women in bikinis. There's just the otter.
There's the otter on the beach. Wait, so you just click on these and you can watch
you just click it and it shows you. I'll show you an ad first.
It's going to be hard to believe.
Yeah, mute that. But sometimes there'll be like men who will do it as jokes. Like there was one like a really chubby guy who was like posing with a shirt off, and he would take money to like do weird things. It was clearly joking, but he's still making a lot of money.
How funny. See, that's the kind of thing as I'd like to see, like the comedy, the sort of the trolling and the comedy that people can do with stuff like this. This is just an otter live.
It's so hot.
How many people are watching this right now? 214. More more than our stream.
Why did they select the tag of the pool and beach babes tag? Like,
we should just run the otter. He's
otter,
more
not a
interesting.
beaver. Otter.
Okay, let's see what else. Okay, so that's really funny that that's on the pools, hot tubs, and beaches. But let's look. I guess this is typically more of what you find on here. This is also
Yes.
live.
Yep. No more.
Oh no, she's taking a break.
That's the ad.
How about yoga? You can watch someone. Yoga Karen's content. Her name is Yoga Karen. Is intended for certain audience. It may contain sexual themes. It's yoga. Okay, I see.
Yeah. Mute that. You mute that music.
Oh, crap.
Oh, you close it. Yeah.
Bikini party. Okay, so yoga exercise. Look at that. And there's the butt in the air.
How many people do you think are actually watching this to get like yoga tips or doing yoga along with her?
No one. No one comes here to learn yoga. I know, because I've looked up yoga videos to learn to, to do yoga with someone.
They're doing yoga with just one part of their body.
Yeah. These are people who are specifically trying to do sexy yoga. Sexy is more important than yoga in that sentence. You know what I mean? Look at tree surgeon. Wait, there's a sleeping otter channel. What the hell am I doing here? See you suckers.
I love otters, even though they're psychopaths.
See, Highness. This is an utterly important live stream. Brightspace seems to know who that otter is. Vancouver Joey the otter.
Oh. Are you subscribed to his OnlyFans?
Nick Ortega, only otters. Oh my gosh. Okay.
If you go down to the ASMR section, pull up this video. This is of Amaranth, and I queued it up at a part where she's just whispering. The first, that one. Because a lot of the ASMR stuff is when they turn up the volume on a microphone and they kind of make weird sounds in it, and then a lot of them will make sexually suggestive sounds. And so she, like a lot of other of these women do type of things, will lick the microphone. I didn't cue it up there. I just queued it up at the part where she's whispering. But if you feel like watching or listening to some disgusting licking noises, you're free to skip ahead. It's up to you.
So ASMR, what does that stand for again?
Okay, it was like audio. Hold on, I'm gonna Google real quick.
Sensory.
Yeah. So ASMR, autonomous sensory meridian response.
Meridian response, a term used to describe a tingling, static-like, or goosebump sensation in response to specific triggering audio or visual stimuli. Okay.
Email before money for sneezing. It was a company, I think, called like sneezygirls.com or some shit.
Okay, so she dresses up like Black Widow and shows her boobs and whispers.
Mm-hmm. And then she licks it in a very sexually suggestive manner.
And people are like, "Take my wallet."
Yes.
Whisper more.
Yes, these things are really popular. It's so gross. I can't stand the sound of them. It's so gross.
What was that one that we heard that somebody was doing an ASMR that just sounded horrible? It was like rubbing balloons together or something. It's like, why would you ever want to hear that? That's terrible.
Can you pull up the second one? So I'm showing this one because YouTube recommended this to me for some reason. So this woman on here, she does ASMR stuff, but she does it as characters from movies. So she did a number of Star Trek ones, and YouTube recommended me one of her doing Beverly Crusher, Star Trek Next Generation. And of course I had to watch it, the whole thing. It's like 20 minutes. I mean, what else am I supposed to do, Carrie? But she does a bunch of other characters, Marvel characters and fantasy characters. And I'd never really thought about people doing it in character, but apparently that's a thing now too.
Okay. Wait a
She
minute.
she's
We're
even
just
done one.
showing her channel.
Yeah, unless you want to, if you want to click on one of the videos, you can. I mean, it's just her whispering stuff. She's not licking microphones. I don't
No,
think.
that's okay. I don't need to hear any whispering. It's just so weird. The ASMR.
Yeah, it's huge.
I feel like this is a thing that's also ripe for comedy ASMR. I want to retitle this video just a bunch of acronyms: E-Thought ASMR OF.
OF.
OF AF. Okay.
All right, and we'll hurry up because I know we're getting close to time. Can you bring up that Bella Delphine one real quick? Just real quick. You don't have to read the article. I just want to pull this up. So this
is the girl that sold her bathwater.
Yeah. So this was another OnlyFans streamer, tech girl who I guess made her money at first doing like video games and showing sexually suggestive photos, but then she started doing OnlyFans and started being naked. And she does these weird little, what do you call them, stunts kind of thing. And she did one where she was allegedly selling her bathwater. I don't know if it's actually bathwater. I'm guessing not, but she was, taking these jars, filling them up with bathwater and selling them. And she said she sold about 500 of them. Over 500.
I believe it. Who is paying $30 for gamer girl Belle Delphine's bathwater? Delphine, 19, a social media star with an enormous global following, was mocked for the sale, but it sold out quickly. There she is. Do you think she uses the skin lightening app?
She looks kind of like an anime character. That's what part of me thinks is like their appeal from a lot of dudes watching her.
Yeah.
Like her face just looks animated. Like, I don't know. I guess you can't log into.
Oh yeah, I don't have an account with Guardian.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you get the gist of it. She sold that for a while, and there are a bunch of people who were obviously criticizing her. There's some people that said that they had the water and they tested it, had herpes in it, and there's another guy who put out a video of him supposedly drinking this bath water and telling people what it tasted like. I think he was lying, but still, this is the internet. It's 2023.
Wait a minute. I just saw the funniest comment from Ann Pinkova. Ann Pinkova from Politically Incorrect Knitters, ladies and gentlemen. Ann Pinkova, one of the hosts there, just said the funniest ASMR title I saw was "You are tutoring Leonardo DiCaprio's new girlfriend who is failing algebra 2." What?
That's awesome. He likes them young.
Oh man, but just what a funny ASMR title. Okay. Well, yes, people who in the chat who maybe didn't know about this, and they're like, men are pathetic. Who said that? Selling a core. I'm sorry, but men are pathetic. Yeah, but so are women.
About these fetishes but it's like it gets crazier and crazier. Things I never would have thought of. Like, I don't think anyone would have thought of in the past, but it's like it's never enough. It's almost like we hear about like people who do heroin. Like, I've never done heroin, but I've heard that when people do heroin, the first time they do it is the highest they ever get, and from then they're trying to recreate that high, and they start mixing in other stuff, and that's when you have deaths like John Belushi, who died of heroin, and I believe it was cocaine he mixed together. So it's almost like some of these fetishes work the same way. Like, people are trying to recreate some kind of sexual high from their past for whatever reason, and it's never enough, so they keep having to escalating to weirder and weirder things.
Yes, well, that's when you're trying to fill that God-sized hole. I think with whether it's sex or alcohol or drugs or gambling or whatever it is, you're going to keep escalating because it doesn't work and you need more. And with sex, it becomes this weird fetish chasing thing where then if you just keep going, you get to the really disgusting stuff, like the really pathetic, disgusting stuff, like the story we read about the really rich guys who pay the Instagram girls to come over so they could poop on them, and like, and then you go beyond that into the really, really awful stuff, like That's why you see so much of this child predator crap. I think so much of this in society, especially for elites, because think about it. Those people, they have all the money and power and access in the world. They have the political connections to somehow off themselves in prison, supposedly, and have their little black books never revealed of all the underage girls they were running into whom, right? Talking about Epstein. But when they reach that level of power, money, access, you know, then all the sky's the limit. They can just keep chasing what the world has to offer and keep chasing it into more depraved places. And if they never get off that train, because it's never going to fill the God hole. But if they don't get off that train, they go to worse and worse and worse and darker places. You devolve more and more to where you're less like the beautiful creature that God created you as, and you're just this inverted, demonic, just darkness. I don't know.
Survives off used bathwater.
Yeah. Nice trying to connect it back to this. I don't know. My rant, it didn't really apply to that, but yes. Somebody said in the chat, somebody said men are pathetic, but look, so are women. That's the thing is, like, the men who are paying for this crap, they have to have a woman who's selling it. It's like they feed off each other, the drugs, the pusher and the person who's buying it, the junkie and the person selling it, like, feeds off of each other. Yeah, thanks for letting me do one of my rants. I'm I don't know if I'm coherent anymore because of the jet lag, but anyway.
I got one more link for some funny stuff.
What's the funny stuff?
The first one, do you want there's the monkey?
No, is it really a monkey or is it an ape?
Is it okay, apes? Yeah,
thank you.
I just like saying monkeys though.
Yeah, well, why? I'm not really upset with you. I'm upset with people who keep naming these things incorrectly on YouTube. Look at this person called it a monkey in the title. It's not a monkey. I'm looking at it right now. It's an orangutan.
We don't have to watch the whole thing, but I just thought this was funny.
Okay. Is this a joke?
No, it's real.
This is what my ASMR account would be.
What a slob. Ugh. Ew. Looks so nice.
The breathing. Do you think these orangutans get paid any of the proceeds of their ASMR videos, or do they have they have an ape pimp? They have an ASMR pimp who's making all the money.
They have to be exploited. Yes.
They're being exploited. No.
Whoa there.
Kevin Anderson, I'm out of here.
You know you like it, Kevin.
Kevin's like, this is my kind of ASMR. The ape stuff. Okay. Should I keep going or stop?
Oh, you can stop it there.
Oh my gosh, that's really funny.
Someone
You know,
paid
when
a
I
lot of money
ask
for
you if
that.
somebody's done comedy with ASMR, I mean, that's
Probably.
hilarious.
I put in the private chat. I was going to put in the link to that one OnlyFans skit from Ryan Long, but then I realized he had like several. And so I just put in the main Google return search results, and you can choose whichever one you want. I've only seen one of them. And we don't have to watch the whole thing because I know all of them are about 4 to 5 minutes.
Hold on, there's an ad. 1 second.
Oh, stupid ad. They should really give you an ad blocker. If you're like a, subscriber or, content producer on YouTube and you have over, 1,000 subscribers, they should give you free ad block.
Free? Is there a YouTube ad blocker?
I mean, there's ones you can download for your browser, and there's ones you can pay for, of course, but they're free ones.
The browser, but I don't have one for YouTube. Okay.
Unless you play like premium, but
yeah, I didn't pay premium. Okay. I manage OnlyFans girls' messages. This is the name. This is the title of his video. I have not seen this. This is Ryan Long, of course, hilarious guy. OnlyFans pimp. I wonder if he's he's basically making fun of Andrew Tate here without calling him Tate or doing a Tate. Let's just watch.
And I'm the guy who responds to your OnlyFans messages.
Tell me what you want to do to me. I would love that.
Yeah, when I decided to be a pimp on OnlyFans, I didn't realize that 90% of my job was going to be messaging dudes things that I want to do to them.
I'm grabbing my breast thinking of your hard That's a go-to for me.
Busy day today. There's a stack of dick ratings that I got to get to.
I'm touching both my boobs. Would you want to touch my boobs?
Cindy, I'm going to need those custom feet pics by 4 p.m. today. The pay pigs are getting hungry.
I mean, these guys are losers. They're sexting with a guy all day. I mean, well, okay. I mean, it's different if you're doing it for pimping purposes. Talking to this guy Brad right now. Believe me when I tell you, he is a freak. Yeah. Okay, I gotta take a little bit of a break. Okay, break time's over. There's my big boy.
I print them out to make it more organized. So this is just a folder full of dongs. I did want to focus originally on just kind of the...
This is hilarious. I love this kind of comedy so much. So good.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not going to watch the whole thing. You guys go watch it over at Ryan's channel. Here, we're going to drop the link in the chat. Evan says, I like Ryan, but the apes were better. Tree Surgeon says, there's a lot of comedy ASMR. I didn't know that. Now I have to find some of it because that would be my bag. Okay. Thank you so much. You got one more?
Yeah. I only play for, a minute or so. This one. It's a Living Color one.
Oh, I feel like we should always close on Living Color.
Yeah. So it's sort of related to modeling in a way, but it's just
an excuse to show Living Color.
Yes.
I got you. I know what game you're playing. Okay, guys, we're going to close with a Jim Carrey clip from In Living Color, one of the greatest comedy shows of all time. Okay.
It's time for Buffed, Beautiful, and Bitchin', the at-home workout with Vera DeMilo.
Hi, I'm Vera DeMilo. Before I learned how to exercise properly, I was a poor excuse for a woman. Just look at those unsightly lumps of lard protruding from my sternum. I was so weak and frail back then.
He could never do this today.
No, you can't. No.
They would say, oh, transphobic. Like, all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff. Thank you, Jamie, by the way, for the $2 super chat. Thank you so much. I hope you had a great time in Europe, Carrie. Thank you. I did. I haven't fully digested everything yet. Like I said, just walked in the house, and we had a great time though. And I'm sure I'll talk more about it and some of the people I got to meet. But thank you very much, Jamie. Okay, this is This is great.
Couldn't even tear a telephone book in half. But I made that change, and you can too. So let's get busy burning off those bothersome bazooms. Girls, are you ready? All righty. Let's start with a stretch. And down. Okay, now you try. See how those big breaths just weigh them down? I'm telling you, you can't float till you get rid of those sinkers. And now the shoulder. Come on, girls. Oh, yeah. That's right. That's right. Now this one. Just pull it. And pull it. Really pull it. Wow. That's going to be sore in the morning. But it hurts so good. And you know what they say. No pain, no gain. Now, before attempting any serious lifting, I can't stress enough the importance of eating a healthy breakfast. Of course, I prefer mine in concentrated form. Another advantage of my at-home workout is that there's no need for investing in costly weight sets. With just a little imagination, a few hefty household appliances will do just as well. Now, Deidre, the secret to a strong, flat championship chest is breath bombardment with maximum weight. Are you ready? All righty. That's the spirit. Show those memories no mercy. Hey, kids. It's time for Vera's vanity table.
Yeah,
They would totally call this transphobic.
Yeah. I kept thinking of like Ellen, or I should say Elliot Page.
Elliot Page. Yes.
He's doing that.
Yeah, because this character clearly hates her boobs, her own breasts, you know. This character today would just go ahead and transition, okay?
Yep.
How funny. Okay, thank you for this.
Yeah.
Shut now or finish it?
Yeah. No, we're done. I think we're good.
We're gonna stop sharing it. Well, it was so great talking with you again.
You as well.
Thank you for walking us through this show, putting it together, and you guys just give Mr. Chris a big thank you for arranging all of this tonight, and I appreciate you guys being here, and I made it. I do have quite a bit of jet lag brain fog.
Yeah, you
but
did great. I was expecting you to be tired tonight. I was like, oh, Carrie's gonna be so dead tonight.
I'm just having trouble forming sentences. I'm at that part where it's like I kind of know what I want to say, but my brain and mouth are not communicating very well.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to go to bed. But yes, I'm glad I'm back in the States. I'm glad I'm back in Texas. We passed the Buc-ee's on the way home from Dallas today, and it was like, oh my gosh, there's the Buc-ee's. Anyway, glad to be back, and our shows, our regularly scheduled Deprogrammed shows are back. So, except there is no interview this week, but there will be next week. So, if you don't know it, if you're new here, usually Mondays and Fridays at 1 o'clock, that's the new time, 1 o'clock Central Time, I do a live show called Kerfebre Break, and we just hang out with our coffee and pastry and talk about what's in the news. Sometimes we have guests, talk about specific topics, but that's a live show every Monday and Friday. And then Wednesday nights, I do this live show with Mystery Chris that's pop culture. It's all about pop culture subjects. We usually do a deep dive into one particular topic and hang out with the chat. And then Thursdays, I do interviews, and most of my interviews are about my old ideology, social justice. So if you found me through one of my interviews on another channel and that's what you're looking for, I would say go to the Deprogrammed interviews tab, and you can look at all the talks I've had with people about various parts of woke or social justice ideology. And those usually come out on Thursdays. So we're back to our regularly scheduled episodes, and yeah, appreciate you guys hanging out. Thank you for the chats. and the well
Thank you,
wishes.
everyone. That was fun. I can't wait. Hopefully next week. We can't say what we're going to do next week yet, but if it goes off as planned, I think it'll be a good one. And then the whole month of October, like Carrie just said earlier, we're going to have Halloween themed episodes. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Wait, I love Halloween. It's going to be fun. Texas Sheep Lady says, I hope the raccoon is sleeping too.
He's planning how to get back into the house.
No, but what if we just hammered him into the house? What if he's in the house when Anthony just re-hammered the things up? Which I guess we'll find out tonight, because he clearly has no problem opening whatever he wants.
Just gonna cut through it with a laser cutter.
Yeah. We're in for it tonight. Okay, thank you guys. It's been a great night. We're gonna take off. Mystery Chris, have a good night. I will talk to you later.
You as well. Bye, chat.